Joe Pugliese is with us, the head coach of Dallas boys tennis here on the John Mendola Show at McCarthy Tire Service. And Joe, welcome in. Great to see you. And you have a nice squad this year at Dallas. Talk about this talent here you have for the Mountaineers.
Well, we were fortunate enough last year to end up with a very young team that I was able to put a lot of different kids on the court. I started 10 different players last year, and at one point even started 5 freshmen last year. So this year we ended up with 3 freshman starters. I had 3 sophomore starters from those freshmen last year. So my top 3 singles players are all sophomores, and all the doubles are all seniors. So none of them have any more than the 2 years experience that they got from last year and this year. So still a fairly inexperienced squad, but they've pleasantly surprised me this year. So they're doing very well. We're 6-0 at this point. Our toughest match at this point is going to be Seminary. We'll be coming up at the end of next week. So we're prepping for that right now. So looking forward to it.
Tough for everybody, with tennis in particular, to get outside. Some teams fortunate to maybe get to indoor facilities and things like that. Talk about those dynamics. You just got to do your best to keep everybody as fresh as you can, and when you get an opportunity, you got to run with it.
That's right. You know, we've been practicing sometimes in the gym. We are fortunate to be able to use some indoor facilities on occasion, but for the most part, our outdoor practices have been very limited and very short at time because it's just too much wind, too much cold. So. But it's the same for everybody. You know, we fortunately started off with some very weak teams early in the season, which actually kind of helped us to actually prepare for the middle of the season and the meat of the season, which we're going through now. So we were very fortunate schedule-wise to have that advantage.
Let's talk about your tennis background and what you bring to this team and these young men that kind of influenced them the way you were influenced.
Well, I started playing tennis with my dad back when I was a young teenager. You know, unfortunately, we didn't have high school tennis at Wyoming area when I was there back in the 70s. But I did have the advantage of playing with local kids who did all play on tennis teams in their areas. And, you know, I got to play districts, but was never seeded, so I lost to the eventual champion each time. That's my claim to fame. So.
That sounds like a good story.
Yes,
take us through this Dallas team. I know you say you're young, but take us through your number 1, 2, 3, and then through some of your doubles, if you could rattle a few of those names off for us.
Okay, so like I said, my top 3 are all sophomores. Number 1 is John Tucson, who played number 2 last year. He was doing very well. Had a couple close calls this year. He's pulled out a couple 3-set matches, but he's still undefeated. So he's doing very well. Very pleasantly surprised. The number 2 is Alex Jerome. He played number 3 and number 1 doubles last year, and he moved up this year. And he's doing very well as far. He's 5-1 now. Okay, had a tough loss against Pittston area number 2 player, who was very good. Okay, so they're coming along, and what's great now, like I mentioned, we were able to play some weaker teams early, and they're kind of learning on the fly here now. I said they're in their 2nd year of varsity tennis right now. So having the advantage of having a little playing experience in the beginning, it helps. Number 3 is Dom Rizzo. He's a little guy, but he's a spitfire. Okay, he's out there. He's a great athlete. He will run everything down, and as my top players say, I hate to play him. Okay, he is just that type of player. Okay, so he's driving other teams nuts right now.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
And as far as down the road here, we'll get into May pretty quickly, and we'll get through the singles, the doubles, the team championships, all that fun stuff. It's a fun time of year. It's kind of really condensed time, gets really intense.
Yes.
But are there some opportunities for this team, for some of these kids to make some noise?
There is. I think actually, especially in doubles, I think we can have the opportunity to do very well in doubles. So my number 1 doubles team Matt Dillon and Mark Brzezinski, they're also undefeated and really haven't been challenged yet. So I'm really looking forward to getting them in the districts and see how well they do against the top players in the area. So I think we're going to do pretty well at districts. It's definitely by far my favorite time of year once we get into districts.
Well, Joe, it's a pleasure to catch up with you, talk about the Dallas Mountaineers this year on the court, and we look forward to talking with the boys today.
All right, great. Thanks for having us.
John Tucson joining us. He's a sophomore at Dallas area here on the John Mendola Show as we talk tennis. And John, let's talk a little bit about playing number one singles. You feeling the pressure this year?
Just as much as I was feeling last year. It's just a different mindset that I got to be in, but it's just fun for me.
You got a little older, so talk about the growing up a little bit from last year as a freshman to sophomore and get some experience out there on the court. To play varsity athletics is it's awfully tough as a freshman. What'd you learn about yourself?
You definitely got to maintain a maturity level that all of the other, like I played a lot of seniors last year and this year that very mature, very nice. You just have to stay at their level and just remember that you're your own worst enemy. So like just always keep that in mind. I think I've worked on that a lot between last year and this year, and that's helped me a lot.
Soccer, basketball, baseball, a few sports you've played in the past. You're kind of concentrating on the tennis part, but what did you learn from some of those sports that maybe has helped you carry over to be a competitor in tennis?
Team aspect, I learned a lot about that. I know that tennis is more of like a, you're the only one out there, but I think like basketball and baseball and more soccer, a lot of it, they really helped me like remember that it's always a team effort, and even if you don't win, it's all about how your other teammates do. So.
Let's talk about some activities outside of sports. What are you involved with?
I'm very involved with school and community theater. I love that. I'm involved with the Luzerne Foundation's Youth Advisory Committee, which is it's like a fundraising philanthropic group. And last year I was vice president of my class. So
awesome to hear. And boy, you have the academic thing down last year, number one in your class, and working really hard again this year. Talk about the holding sway and trying to maintain that grade point average.
Oh man, it's hard. It's hard because there are a lot of really intelligent people in my grade. And, it's always just, right now I'm just trying to do my best through sophomore year. Sophomore year is a lot harder than freshman year, so.
How about some areas you like? History, one of the subjects you enjoy?
I love history. I love history. I took AP US History last year as a freshman, and it was by far the best decision I've ever made because it taught me a lot about, us. And
you got a couple of older siblings, sisters, so tell us what they're up to and what you learned from both of them.
Well, my oldest sister, Kimberly, she's 31, and she's always just been like a third parent for me, and she's always there to talk to. She's a pharmacist, and she's always there if I ever need some like a laugh or maybe advice. She's very, very like parent-like, but also sister-like. It's a great combo. And then Christina, she was actually first seed tennis in the girls team when she was in high school about like 10 years ago, and I've been playing tennis since I was 3 with her. And that's how I picked it up, so I'm always forever grateful for her.
Your folks are important to you, your sisters you mentioned just now, and then you look at some local college players as role models. So take us through what you learned from the folks. You told us the sister story and what you watch with some of the local players as well.
Truthfully, like I knew a bunch of Kings players from last year that were always very mature and yet always had fun at their practices, and especially the Kings players. I always admire how they play, and like during the summer I used to go and hit with a couple of them, and it was nice to see how college players act in their environment, and it was cool to see. And I love watching like college tennis videos like on the west side of America, like Caltech, all that kind of stuff. So
folks.
Oh, folks, my parents definitely, I'm at a loss for words because there's so much I could say about them, but my dad is like, he's always riding me like, not in a bad way, like he's always riding me like, you know what you're doing, you got the game down, and just have fun with it. And that's always what they say to me, like just have fun, get on the court and play your game, and that's all I can do. And especially my mom, she is always, like not even just tennis, she was always on my back, in the best way possible, and I'm so happy that she is, because I couldn't be able to maintain myself if she wasn't.
You sound you're driven by your parents. Of course, you got a little internal drive as well, John. Keep up the good work there on the tennis court.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Alex Durome is with us from Dallas here on the John Mendola Show. We talk about tennis, a sophomore, number 2 singles, one of the captains on the team, and soccer player as well. So, Alex, let's talk about your tennis game. What do you think your strengths are?
I think my strengths are really my strokes. I'm really great at accuracy. Don't put as much power on it because I really want to be able to place it anywhere I want to win as many points as possible.
Soccer, talk about what you enjoy about that, and Dallas always has a pretty competitive team.
Yeah, we do. I remember last year we won districts, but I just really enjoy. I mean, obviously it's a lot of running, it's a lot of physical activity, but I enjoy just the vibe of like the team. The team is really supportive of one another, and we all just support each other with everything.
Let's talk about a club, an organization you're involved with, and why you do it and what you like about it.
All right, well, I'm a part of chamber choir at Dallas High School, and that's just, it's an extra singing club that either you don't have to be a part of normal chorus, but if you want to do a little bit more, it's for the people that really love to sing, and I absolutely love to sing. It's one of my greatest passions.
Good for you. That's awesome to hear. You have an older sister, Maxine. You have a younger brother, Lucas. You're slapped right in the middle there, so tell us about each of them.
Well, I've definitely learned a lot from each of them. From my sister, I've definitely learned hard work to like get good grades because she was the top of her class, and I really aspire to be like her. And my brother, I feel like I teach him a lot of stuff, but he definitely teaches me more, just because he always teaches me to be patient, because you know how little brothers can get sometimes.
That's a great answer, great explanation. Math and science kind of guy. So talk about down the road, you know, you're thinking whether engineering or whatever, who knows, but when usually you're good in those subjects, there's some kind of nice career for you down the road, right?
Yeah, I've actually been thinking for a while actually to be a doctor. I'm not sure what kind of doctor yet, but maybe like a surgeon or a dentist.
Those are pretty good too. Let's talk about some role models in your life. Who influences you, and why do you look up to them?
Well, some role models that I looked up to are Joe Pugliese and some tennis legends like Roger Federer, Pete Sampras, and Andre Agassi. I really look up to them because they're all really stand-up people. Like my coach, Joe. He's just amazing to be around. He's just a guy that you can talk to about anything, and he wants to help you. He wants you to get better, and so I think that's what really makes him stand out from anybody else.
Alex, who's cheering you on at the matches?
Oh, definitely my mom. She's there every time. She's always yelling at me in English and French, any language she knows.
That's awesome to hear. And as far as at home, the academic part of pushing you along, what kind of push do you get there? Are you self-motivated?
I am pretty self-motivated, but she really does help me, because a lot of times school kind of makes you not want to do it. There's just those times, but she really keeps me on track. She really wants me to succeed in life, get a great education, go to a great college, and she really wants me to be the best that I can be, and that's what really pushes me and motivates me.
All right, Alex, you sound all grown up here as a sophomore. Keep up the great work, and we wish you the best going forward.
Thank you very much.
Dominic Rizzo is with us here on the John Mendola Show as we continue the conversation with the Dallas Mountaineers tennis team. Dominic, let's talk about your game. What kind of player do you find yourself to be? Coach mentioned, we got some players over there that are pretty darn good. Do you happen to be one of the guys that nobody wants to play?
Yeah, my strategy is very annoying. Like most people take normal shots, like hit cross court, down line. And I like to make the players run a lot. I've played soccer for 8 years, so I'm very agile and I can run a lot. So I like to do short shots to make them run and then lob it over their heads. And it just makes them run back and forth until they get so tired.
No wonder why. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, people know what they're getting. You're going to give it to them. Let's talk about what you like about the game of tennis, what you've enjoyed about over the years.
The biggest part about it is it's me versus another person. Like, I quit soccer because it's a team sport, but for tennis, by me playing number 3 singles, it's just my game versus the other guy's game. Like, I can go out there and show them what I got.
All right, like controlling your own destiny.
Yeah.
You got two siblings, a sister, Kaylee, and a brother, Derek. Tell us about each of them.
I get along well with my siblings. Me and my brother like to play outside together. Like we'll play catch in the yard with football. And my sister likes to study a lot, so I don't really hang out with her as much. And me and my brother play Fortnite together and stuff too, so it's fun.
Yeah, everybody loving that Fortnite.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Let's talk about your favorite subjects at school. Everybody likes gym, right? You
Yeah.
enjoy physical education and geometry, though.
Yeah,
too.
I'm a big math guy. I'm a fan of geometry. It's my highest grade. It's like a 99. I like it. It's very fun.
Who's your teacher?
Mrs. Barrison. She's a very good teacher.
All right, good to hear. Now you're already thinking down the road. You're just a sophomore saying, "Hey, I want to go to Wilkes."
Yeah. Well, my mom actually works at Wilkes, and she's always talking about how good the coach is and how he's just a very good coach. And I've actually seen the Wilkes players before, and the coach invited me to one of the practices before if I ever want to introduce myself to him. So he's a very nice guy.
Yeah, he is. Let's talk about your folks and pushing you along academically, athletically, being there to support you. What's that like to be in your house?
Yeah, my parents are a big influence. They raised me good. Like, I know good from wrong. Sometimes it can get like a little too much, so like when I'm playing, if like my mom would talk to me, I'll get like, a little mad because I'm in my zone,
Sure.
Yeah, kind of gets me zoned out a little. But she's just trying to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She loves you to death, I'm sure.
Yeah, she does.
What's it like to play Wyoming Seminary? That's coming up in the next couple of days here.
Yeah, we played them last year and we ended up losing 3-2. So that was one of our hardest matches. So it's kind of a big rival. I want to show them what I got this year. I took a big step from this year from last year. So I want to show them what I got.
All right, Dominic. Well,
Yeah.
you work hard all the way, and we wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Matt Dillon with us from the Dallas Mountaineers tennis team here on the John Mendola Show at McCarthy Tire Service in Wilkes-Barre. And Matt, you're a senior, so obviously some leadership needed with this group with a bunch of sophomores playing, but they're playing some good tennis. Talk about you as a senior, what you try to do to influence some of these guys.
So as a senior, this is only my second year playing actually, but I'm definitely looked up as a leader on this team. So I try and just help people at practice if they need it, or they look like they're struggling with a certain part in their game. I'll give them a tip or something. So just trying to help out in that regard.
Let's talk about your doubles partner. You guys are #1 doubles, so who do you play with, and what's that synergy like?
I play with Mark Brzezinski, and this is our first year playing together. And he's definitely the more experienced player, but we kind of help each other out and pick each other up when we're down. And we're doing well this year. We're undefeated, so we're looking to keep going.
You have a big family, and everybody's older. Chris and Liz and Catherine. So tell us what everybody's up to right now in the Dillon family.
My brother is up in New Hampshire. He's working for a hockey team up there. And my sister's in graduate school. She's going to be a physical therapist. And my other sister, Catherine, she's in college right now in Massachusetts at Endicott. And she's looking to be a party manager.
Cool. AP Government and Politics, a couple classes that you enjoy. You have a favorite teacher? Is the subject matter pretty cool?
Well, I'm going to study finance, but my second love is definitely government and politics. I've always just followed the news and that kind of stuff, so that class just kind of covers government and how it works, and I really like it.
James Madison University sounds like a great place to go.
Yeah,
Talk about what the college choices were and why you said, hey, I want to go to JMU.
Well, I looked at other colleges. I looked at Penn State, I looked at UConn, Delaware, and IUP as well. But James Madison just had a really nice campus, and they're a really business-oriented school, so I like that about it. And I'm going to study finance, so that really helps. And they have big sports teams and football teams really good, so that was great.
Finance sounds like a bright future, and a lot of people are picking their college majors. Finance happens. It seems like it's fallen into that top 10 for people.
Yeah.
You never go wrong if you're doing well with money.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the folks and their influence on you.
Well, my dad, he's a business owner, so that definitely helped me in regards to picking my choice, because I've always been around business growing up. And he played tennis in high school and college as well, so he kind of got me into the sport and helps me along the way too, helps me practice. And my mom, she's definitely just helped me even just learn the value of the dollar. Just working hard pays off, just something basic like that. So it definitely helped me along the way.
Man, always great to hear positive stories. You have your own, and James Madison University will be the next step. Best of luck for the rest of the doubles season this year with Dallas and in your future endeavors.
All right, thank you.
Joe Fiotti is joining us from Dallas area here on the John Mendola Show, and a tennis player. And Joe, let's talk about how you got involved with tennis.
Yeah, well, I started out in 8th grade. I went to a few lessons with Joe, the coach, and I just really liked it from there, and I got on freshman year, and then I ended up bringing a lot of the guys who are on the team now on with me.
Play soccer as well?
Yeah, I play soccer too. I play with Matt Dillon there, and we started freshman year too, so both the sports I played 4 years. The difference between the two is huge because there's a lot more running in soccer and a lot more, there's not much hands in soccer. So I think that the difference is really neat to see between the two sports.
Yes, sir. Number 2 doubles. So talk about you and your partner and how you guys work well together on the court.
Me and Patrick Urish, I think that he's really good up at the net. I'm really good back more, but we switch a lot and we like to teach each other different things. I think that we work great with boosting each other's morale throughout the game, and I just really like playing with them.
Another AP government and politics kind of guy. Class you enjoy as well?
Oh, I do. You never really realize how much you don't know until you take the class, but I never really had a big interest in that until I started last year. I said, why not? But a lot of my friends are in it, and so I really enjoy it.
One of those classes in high school, you start developing your own opinion about things, and I'm sure your parents have their own opinion as well, but do you find it interesting on different perspectives in the class, and maybe now how you look at people?
I used to have my own opinions before the class, and I can see now how very wrong I was about a lot of different things, and I talk to my parents, and they probably think I sound a little rude because I come off because I realize how much they don't know and how much average people don't know and how much I didn't know. There's a lot to learn about our government.
Yeah, and I'd probably be right with you in that class, learning along. Let's talk about life after high school. Where you headed and why?
I'm headed for Penn State Wilkes-Barre for 2 years, and then I'm going to Penn State main campus for 2 years. I'm studying computer science, which is a lot different from AP Gov. I just hope to graduate and probably get a job around here, stay local for a little bit.
All right, Joe. Well, we appreciate you telling us your story, and good luck on doubles the rest of this way. And Penn State University, I'm sure, will be lucky to get you.
Yeah, thank you.